The three toolboxes. God has given each of us gifts to use in His kingdom. Matthew 25:29. For everyone who has will be given more, and he will have in abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. Look what I've brought with me this morning, a toolbox. My toolbox is full of useful things. Many of the tools can be used for building things, and some of them are great for mending things that are broken. This morning I want to tell you a story about tools. I call it the three toolboxes. Once upon a time there was a man who had a construction business. The man had to go away on a long trip, so he called his 3 employees together and said, I have to go on a long trip, and so I am leaving you 3 in charge. I have put together a toolbox for each of you to use to keep the business going while I'm gone. The man gave each of his employees a toolbox. The toolboxes contained all the tools the employees needed to do what the man expected of them. But since the 3 employees didn't have all the same abilities, each toolbox was different. To the first employee, he gave a very large toolbox filled with every tool that you can imagine. To the second employee, he gave a smaller toolbox, but one that still had a very good assortment of tools. To the third employee, he gave a very small toolbox with just a few tools, but enough tools for that employee to do what was expected of him. The man left to go on his trip. When he returned, he called his employees together to see what they had done while he was gone. The first employee said, I knew that you had a great love for the homeless people of the world, so I used the toolbox that you gave me and built homes for the homeless. That's great, said the employer. You have done so well that I'm going to put you in charge of all the new construction for the entire company. The second employee said, I knew that you had a great love for the elderly, so I used the toolbox you gave me to fix up the homes of the old people who can no longer do the work themselves. That is wonderful, said the employer. You have done such a good job, I'm putting you in charge of all the repair and maintenance work for the entire company. Then he turned to the third employee and asked, What did you do with the tools that I left you? I knew that you are a very demanding boss and that you expect a lot from your employees. I was afraid that if I used the tools you gave me and one of them might get broken or that I might lose one of them and make you angry. I put the tools in a safe place. They were there all the time you were gone. Look, here they are, just like new. What a worthless employee you are! I didn't give you the tools for safekeeping. I gave them to you to use in my business. You are fired. Since they had proven that they would make good use of them, he took the man's toolbox and divided the tools between the other 2 employees. I think this story is a good picture of what God has done in us. He has given each of us tools to use in building His kingdom. We don't have the same tools, but God expects us to use whatever tools He has given us. If we do, He will give us even more. But if we don't, He may take them away and give them to someone who will use them. Listen to the words of Jesus. For everyone who has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he has, will be taken from him. Dear Lord, help us to be faithful in using the gifts that you have given us to help others and to build up the kingdom. Amen.